All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell. Hey, with some more truth for you straightway. Well, South Carolina, the so-called elected officials have voted a 37-3 to remove the Confederate flag from any state property. Wow, man. Well, I tell you what, the people are going to respond. They've already responded by burning 8 black churches. Now, if you go back previously in my videos prior to me going to Canada, I said I had nothing to offer on the Confederate flag because I simply have not done my own personal due diligence enough to actually speak to my sentiments or give you my personal opinion on the Confederate flag. Since then, I have educated myself and I've come to a lot of conclusions in reference to the Confederate flag. And still, even at that, it still does not change the fact of me believing that people, now I come from 2 different point of views and perspectives. Number one, you have allegedly freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of, all this other stuff, as long as it doesn't infringe on the rights of others. At least that's the way I understand the Constitution in this country. Now, understand there's secular government, and then there is us that are, who you call religious, that would like to change the whole world to suit us, which is just simply not going to happen. Now, while I don't agree with a lot of things that you may believe or do, and vice versa, same thing with you, but I found out the majority of people who don't agree on a lot of my point of views and opinions and perspectives is simply because they do not try to even understand where I'm coming from. They don't search the scriptures. I base everything that I live, breathe, and understand off of my knowledge of the scriptures. But we live in a country that doesn't want to educate people. They want to indoctrinate people. Now, a lot of people don't know the history of the Confederate flag. And if you go back in my videos a few weeks, I gave you the history, and I also drawn some conclusions. You can take any of these narratives any which way you want and stuff, but facts still lie on the table is that the Confederate flag was a symbol of racism as we know it today. Most people can say heritage, but is racism a heritage? Is lynching black folks a heritage? If that is the case, then that flag is a symbol of racism. Now, the truth is, when you go back and look at the previous 4 flags that flag actually so-called allegedly came from and derived from, during the Civil War, they never knew a flag like the Confederate flag that is flew today. And many different eras, they never knew the flag that is presented today. The flag that is presented today came in inception along about the 40s when segregation, Jim Crow law, miscegenation laws, and everything else started to come into play. And when they started to come into play, everything was to limit black people, period. And so whether people like it, understand it or not, it's a symbol of racism. Just like the American flag. I mean, the American flag to me is a symbol of oppression of my people, because under that flag, there's been more of my people killed, murdered, committed, this European nation committed genocide against my people. And most people, the history is too painful. Most people want to sweep it under the rug and act like it never existed. Like I said, up here in Lafayette, Tennessee, these people got Confederate flags draped all over the place. I can only imagine what's in their mind. And they got them all over the place up here, and they're flying them all over the place. Again, there ain't no need for you white folks to get mad at the black folks because of the Confederate flag, and it's being removed by corporations, and it's being removed by your civil government. What you need to do is get mad at your politicians, because the black folks are not the one that's removing the flag. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand, and I see clearly both sides of the fence. I understand that a lot of whites in this country feel like that their country is being taken over. Well, first of all, you need to come from the outset. If you was going to make a conquest on a people, and you're just going to go in and take the land, that's how you do it. You just don't go in under a banner of peace, a white flag, and then turn around and eat a meal with them and then murder and kill them and slaughter them. That's the reason why that many of you can never ever get clear and understand the reason why that a lot of American Indians and a lot of blacks in this country literally can't stand the sight of many of you people. You see, I'm not like a lot of people and everything. I use independent thinking. I really, truly do. I understand that a lot of people and their people, you know, they were not involved. Most people want to condemn everybody or want what they call a redefined race. I usually don't live like that. I live by nationality. I live by what nation or what nationality you are, simply because that's from the biblical perspective and point of view. And most people just simply not intelligent enough to even think like that. And so, you know, I usually don't have too much time for them in my life whatsoever at all. You can be what you want to be. That's like the Messianics. They're a racist group. I know they are. I know they are. And I have facts on the table to prove that they are. But hey, I support their right to be racist. I don't agree with it. But you're not going to bring your racism over here to me. That's all it's doing. Expect for me to put up with it. That's just the way it is. And I think that a lot of people need to get some maturity stuff about them. But again, I didn't go and make a judgment on the Confederate flag without having information. I went and done my own independent study. I went and done my own due diligence. I went and looked at the facts, kind of like I do with the Bible. I'll go and look at the facts of something to see what the facts say. Not my opinion, not my personal, not my emotions, not how I feel. I went and looked at the facts, and I came to a conclusion that a Confederate flag is a racist symbol. Now, how do I respond to that? I don't respond to it at all, because as long as you don't do anything to me, you're fine. You're fine. Or anybody that I know of or love will come on my land, you're fine. You can fly your racist flags all day long. But what that does do is that informs me of who my enemies are. Now, I understand that there are a lot of ignorant people that fly the flag and think that it's a symbol of heritage. But the truth is, it's not. It's not a symbol of heritage. You may believe that in your mind, but you can believe wrong. And when you believe wrong, you act wrong. That's all there is to it. Hey, and what should the black people do? I mean, we don't have a flag. Should we get a flag with Juan Carlos and Tommy Smith after they got finished beating everybody in the '64 Olympics? Should we get us a white flag with a black fist up in the center of it? I don't know. Should we? And then call that our flag, our national flag? Would that not be a symbol of racism to all you people? Or if I should get a shirt and say that all whites are devils, will you support my freedom of expression? Or do you have a problem with it? You see, what we need to do is we need to logically start thinking about a lot of these things. Again, if you can get past this what color somebody is and really deal with, look at this, really deal with, now I'm not telling you to be colorblind, because you'd be stupid and ignorant to do that. If it's, you know, if they're black, they're black, they're white, they're white, you know, and if the facts support that it's black, it's black. If the facts support it's white, it's white. Don't go and change everything to suit your culture or your heritage. But most people can't do that. They, you know, it's amazing. That's like the Christians. You know, they totally have stolen the culture of the ancient Hebrew Israelites, which were black people. Different shades of color. Their hue was different shades of color. They were never white. Never white. People converted that are white people, but they were of different nations. The Bible doesn't deal with what color somebody was. It deals with what nation they come from. And I don't expect too much out of this world. I mean, after all, you go to public food system, they're not teaching anything. But hey, this is just a truthful, honest observation and opinion. And there's another place right there. It's got a Confederate flag sitting up there flying in the yard. Hey, have fun. Don't trouble me or bother me at all. But I think that people do need to get control of their emotions. And boy, you can only imagine what those people in South Carolina feel like. In Mississippi, I believe it was, they have the Confederate flag as a state flag. But the bottom line is, the flag that you know today as the Confederate flag had nothing to do with the Confederacy, had nothing to do with Civil War. It had nothing to do with anything as far as history of this country until when segregation, miscegenation laws, Jim Crow laws, and the southern states were fighting against the Union, still fighting against the Union, the southern states fighting against America, about they're hating the fact that the United States of America want to repeal laws against lynching. Amazing, huh? I mean, these people at one time had a mindset that there was nothing wrong with lynching. Some people still believe that today. Amazing, isn't it? Anyway, rather than you allowing your churches or some ignorant tobacco chewing family member to indoctrinate you, use a little self-autonomy, get educated, and find out what the real issues are that we're dealing with in this world. That's the truth. And that's the true straight way. You know, I know that a lot of whites up here, especially in this county I live in, they hate the fact that watch this, well over half of the congregation up here are actually white people. That disturbs these folks greatly. You know why? Because then it knocks down their accusation of Pastor Dow being a racist. Because after all, why would white people want to go to a black racist congregation or congregational church? Huh? It just doesn't make sense, though. It's nonsensical, isn't it? Hey, hope you learned something today. Have a good day.